Am I the asshole for kicking my mom out after she kept saying my wife's singing was inappropriate? Throwaway. My wife has an amazing singer, and I love to say that she loves to flaunt it. If I could sing like her, I swear I would never shut up. She often sings when she's doing the dishes, she sings when she's cleaning the house, sings in the shower, can spontaneously bust into song when it's silent. It's never bothered me. I find it quite cute. My wife sang to our daughter when she was still in the womb and still sings to her now. My mom got evicted out of her apartment, and my wife was the one to invite her to stay with us until she could get back onto her feet. I was fine with the decision, and my mom was happy that she got a place to stay for a bit and got to spend time with her new grandchild. My daughter just turned 1. My wife sings a lot to the child. My mom would always make a face when my wife was singing a song that was inappropriate. A few examples my wife has brought up to me that are apparently inappropriate. My wife was singing "Can't Take My Eyes Off of You" by Frankie Valli when she was changing her diaper. Which was considered inappropriate. My wife sang a very soft version of Helpless from the Hamilton musical while she was playing with her, and apparently my mom deemed that inappropriate. My wife was singing a song in French, and my mom got really mad at her for some reason, that she even spoke to me about it. I told her she was overreacting and she should just let my wife sing. My wife came to me with all my mom's complaints about her singing, and how she felt bad for singing to our daughter, something that she usually really enjoyed. I told my mom more firmly that she's overreacting and that she's making everyone uncomfortable. I thought that would shut her up. My wife threw our 1-year-old a small birthday party over Zoom, but she baked a big batch of cupcakes and sent them to her family. The problem arose when my wife started singing Happy Birthday to her, and my mom started to complain that this was the only time my wife had chosen a song appropriate for babies. I pulled my mom aside and told her that she was making everyone uncomfortable, including the people on the Zoom call. And my mom insinuated that my wife was sexualizing my child by singing explicit or songs about love to her. I got very mad at her, and I raised my voice at her, and told her she could live with my brother or on a smallish rental property of mine. I wouldn't make my mom pay as she isn't in a good place financially, and she chose my brother, and everyone is mad at me for sending my mom to my brother's place. My mom is mad at me for being overdramatic and kicking her out over a small issue. My brother is upset because he wasn't expecting my mom over. Him and her don't see eye to eye on most things, and I feel like I made the wrong call. Not the asshole. My mom is mad at me for being overdramatic and kicking her out over a small issue. If it was such a small issue, she should have dropped it when you spoke to her the first time. Instead, she made an issue of it at your daughter's party, in front of your wife's family. She got herself kicked out by making an issue.
Not the asshole. Lots of people sing lovey songs to their babies, even their kids. It's so normal and not sexual. Your mom is way out of line. Congratulations on being someone on the right side of the supporting spouse over controlling parent dilemma. We too often see the opposite here. Not the asshole. Your mom's view of your wife's singing is bizarre.
Not the asshole. Your mother does not have any right to dictate to your wife what she can and cannot do in her own household. Also, I'm a huge fan of your wife. Hamilton for the win. You made the right call.
Not the asshole. My mom insinuated that my wife was sexualizing my child. The only one sexualizing anything is your mom. And I don't think I need to tell you, she's the one making it weird and inappropriate. She needs to get her head right and stop harassing your wife. You told her in clear terms more than once she needed to chill about the singing and she wouldn't. If she can't deal with my house, my rules, then I guess it's time for a new house. Not the asshole. The fact that if it was really a small issue, she could have dropped it well before things got to this point aside. Has your mom heard the kind of songs people consider appropriate for babies? How is Hamilton more disturbing than leaving a cradle in a decaying tree?
Not the asshole. It's not her home, she doesn't make the rules. An infant isn't going to pick up on being sexualized. By the way, I don't think any of it was inappropriate. This is your mom's weird thing, and I find it ironic that she told you that you were being dramatic. The fact that your brother is upset makes me wonder if she's prone to dramatics.
Not the asshole. You did the right thing. Your mom was overstepping and inappropriate. Your wife is just loving her child. Music is obviously going to be a big part of your life as a family. If your mother can't handle it, she needs to not be around. You maybe should have discussed it with your brother before sending her there, but he can also turn her away since she could live free in your rental.
Not the asshole. Your mother was living in your home and has the audacity to complain about your wife singing to her children. You tried to explain her behavior was unacceptable more than once and she continued to do it. She made your wife feel bad about doing something she loved in her own home. You didn't even kick her out. You offered to let her live rent-free on one of your properties so she could enjoy the peace and quiet she seems to want so much, and she declined out of pettiness and spite, and also because she probably wants to make your brother's life miserable. I bet your brother will get where you're coming from after spending a few weeks with her, haha.
You almost had me at not the asshole. Then you did this. I raised my voice at her and told her she could live with my brother or on a smallish rental property of mine. My brother is upset because he wasn't expecting my mom over him and her don't see eye to eye on most things, and I feel like I made the wrong call. You sure did make the wrong call. You don't offer someone else's place to live without consulting with that person first. That makes you an asshole. You and your mother are both assholes. You're both disrespectful. She was disrespectful to your wife about the singing. You were disrespectful to your brother treating his home like it's yours to dispose of. Esh.
Not the asshole. And for the record, you can't take your eyes off a baby when you're changing them. They think getting poop everywhere is funny. Your mom was the one sexualizing their interactions. I'm guessing your mom has some sort of history, whether it's no sex ed ever and shame anyone so they never ask, or some trauma in her past. Either way, she's so over the asshole line, interfering in a healthy bond. As for your brother, he has to deal with her, so cut him some slack on pouting.
NTA, your mom was being insufferable and ridiculous. Also, it's not like you kicked her to the street, you had two different options for her. Not the asshole. Singing is significant other good for kids on so many levels. And you didn't throw her out without warning. You tried to talk to her politely several times and she just wouldn't listen. The only fault I really see is offering up your brother's place without talking to him first, but that's not what this was about.
Not the asshole. Good on you for standing up for your wife.
Not the asshole. It's not about the singing and it's not a small issue. It's about your mother disrespecting your family's very reasonable requests in your house while she's a guest. She's an adult and should know when she needs to shut her mouth. Except wife. You are only the asshole because you volunteered your brother without asking. But the biggest the asshole is your mom.
Not the asshole. None of the songs you mentioned are remotely inappropriate for a child. Your mom was being ridiculous and an extremely rude houseguest. And you still gave her a free place to live. FFS.
Not the asshole. Sounds like the mom is the one sexualizing the singing. Taking innocent music and acting like your wife is singing WAP or something.
Not the asshole. Your wife can't be comfortable in her own home because of your mom. You made the right call. Your mom should have done a better job remembering she's a guest in your house.
Not the asshole. I sing Frank Sinatra classics to my kids, and probably not very well. My daughter loved Night and Day as a baby, and of course when he says, I want to spend my life making love to you, I change it to taking care of you. Your wife sounds like a vibrant and joyful human being. Thank you for getting your sagging storm cloud of a mother away from her sunlight.
Is this real? You say your daughter turned 1 and then refer to the baby multiple times as him. Are there 2 kids? Regardless, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Also, tell your mom I tell my infant, it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again, during lotion after every bath. Not the asshole. Your wife told you how she felt and you dealt with it before it turned into a giant issue. What a lucky gal. Not the asshole for evicting your mother, but you are the asshole for shoving her off on your brother without discussing it with him first. He needs to have the final say in whether or not she lives with him.
Not the asshole. You should be able to raise your child any way you and your partner see fit, within the normal bounds of society, of course. Seems to me like your mom, the one who is living in your home, should back off and let your wife sing to the kid. It's not like she's singing songs with swears or naughty sentiments in them. If she's gonna live with you, she should comply with how you want things done, right? Not the asshole, and good for you for standing up for your wife and baby. I'm sure your baby absolutely loves the singing.
Not the asshole. If your mother can't be respectful of your wife, she has no business expecting to live in your home.
Not the asshole. Clearly, it's not a small issue to your mother because she won't shut up about it even when warned multiple times. It only became something petty when she faced the consequences of her outrageous behavior. If your wife speaks French, then say, tant pis, to her.
Not the asshole. Apparently when I was little my dad sang, Chantilly Lace, to me. I'm told I liked his big bopper voice, and pretending to be on the telephone. I have no memory of this and have never for a moment felt sexual. I can't even type it out.
Oh, FFS. When my almost 23-year-old son was a baby, he was not soothed by lullabies. No, he wanted bouncy, up-tempo songs when he was cranky. So I used to serenade him with, Kyle's Mom is a Bitch, in D minor, of course. And he turned out just fine. Woman shrugging. You are definitely not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Singing is a huge part of your wife's life and therefore yours too, and she expresses love through singing. The only one making it weird is your mom. It's good that you supported your wife.
NTA. She made your wife feel uncomfortable in her own house for doing something that comes purely from love. I would be humming, singing, guaz, fucking an animal, then everything else would be so much more appropriate. Maybe Babu got back lol. In all seriousness though, you stood up for your wife and child, took care of her without throwing her out on the street. You sound like a saint to me.
No, you're not the asshole. And excuse me for saying it like this, but your mom is a fucking asshole. Also, if she wants to cut her nose to spite her face and not choose the rental property, that's on her. You're not the asshole, bro. You made the right call. It's your wife and your daughter. Your wife can sing any song she wants to your daughter and no one can say a thing. Not the asshole. Your mother is being cruel to your wife and attacking a sweet, harmless habit that brings all of you joy. And she chose to bash your wife on your daughter's first birthday as well? You would have every right to tell her that she will never set foot in your home again and to protect your daughter from being around such a bitter person. Your mother's poor relationship with your brother is her problem, and if she can't get along with either of her children, then where she lives is her problem. Anyone else who complains about where your mom is living is welcome to take her in themselves. Not the asshole. Your mother disrespected your wife in her own home in front of her family. You had every right to ask her to leave. Honestly, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You is the perfect song to sing to your baby. A mom singing about how her daughter is too good to be true and how much she loves her. Geez. The audacity. How dare she? Better that than singing about a baby in a cradle in a tree falling to their death. Eye roll. Nope. Not the asshole. Your wife comes before your mother. She, after several conversations, still continued her poor behavior. Don't enable her further by supporting her financially. Your mom for being a wackadoodle and you for volunteering your brother's house. Your wife sounds lovely, though, and I hope she's able to reclaim her joy in singing to your daughter.
Not the asshole. She could have stayed if she just stopped complaining about nothing. You are the parents, it's your house, you make the rules. You put her on the street.
Not the asshole, but it was not your place to send her to your brother's without speaking with him first. If somebody tried to move into your house without asking you, you'd be mad too. Might as well have rolled up, dumped her stuff, and not said a word to him. You don't have a right to his space, dude. That said, your mom is a pot stirrer and I am proud of you for standing up for your wife and child. Literally the only caveat was foisting your mom on your brother without his consent. You of all people should know that you have to mentally prepare to deal with her lol.
Not the asshole. And PLS, don't call child services on me, but when my daughter was very small, she absolutely loved when my hubby would sing the Johnny Cash version of Hurt. You want to talk about inappropriate?
Not the asshole. Your mom needs to take a step back and apologize. How beautiful is it that your daughter knew your wife's voice before she met her? I bet your daughter will be an amazing singer too.
The trash took itself out. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. It's adorable your wife sings to her baby. Tell her good job from an internet stranger with a kid of their own. Your mom needs to realize if someone is doing you a favor, you don't get to bitch and moan about stuff.
I feel like you're a smallish bit the asshole for not at least running it by your brother before dragging him into it, knowing their relationship, but otherwise not the asshole. She was pushing deliberately.
Not the asshole for standing up for your wife and kicking your mom out. You are a little bit of the asshole for offering up your brother's place without his consent. You should have just told her she needs to leave, offered your rental property if you wanted, and let her decide from there. If she chose to show up on his doorstep anyway, at least then it wouldn't be partially your fault.
My dad sang the same Frankie Valli song to me as a kid. He'd dance with us, and when he got to the part, pardon the way that I stare, he'd dip me and my sister really low and we'd start giggling like crazy. It's a lovely memory. What the fuck is your mom's problem? She's the one sexualizing a baby by assuming that it's anything other than a lullaby. Hell, my friend sings Doja Cat songs to his niece. When they're little they don't know the difference, they just like being sung to. Sounds like your mom's the common denominator here, as your brother doesn't see eye to eye with her either. She'd probably be best off in the rental property, but then she wouldn't be able to annoy her family.
Singing is a great way to introduce infants to language. We all sang those oh so appropriate nursery songs, and we all ended up fine. Just be prepared for those lyrics to revisit when the child is 2 and trying out their knowledge of learned language. Not the asshole.
It's not like she's singing, WAP, to your daughter. Not the asshole op. Nothing wrong with your wife singing.
Definitely not the asshole, but boy do I feel sorry for your brother.
Not the asshole, you have to back up your wife. She's shaming your wife, for her talent, for something she loves. I'll never forget how over Christmas my uncle saw I was laughing and expressing genuine joy for the first time in months and thought it fine to go, "What are you laughing for? Shut up," and I didn't smile or anything the rest of the night. Christmas ruined.